Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the final October edition of Topic Time with Harris and Young in 2019. Happy Halloween and all that. We got a great show for you tonight. Get right to the last some guests. It's kind of cloudy out there, but it always feels warm in here. Like I said, I got some underwriters, got to read them, and then we'll get to the show officially. So we got Auto Country, King of the Used Car in Abington. We got Mrs. Swift's and More Antiques in East Bridgewater, where they're having a ghost tour Friday and Saturday evenings until November 9th. This is the end of October. Admission is $20. It's at the store. We got Auntie Zaza's Fiberworks and Yarn Shop right here in Easton. It's a new one. We got Easton Fitness right here in Easton also. It's a new one at the Village Street Shops. We got Cycle Pros in Bridgewater. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Modern Auto Body in Brockton. We got Clothes Clinic Dry Cleaning in Whitman, where Topic Time fans get 10% off. And we got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair, home of the fully certified used car in Whitman. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now we will start the show officially. Here we go. All right. Okay, again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young. For the last several weeks, I've had a lot of amazing musicians in here. Well, today I have an amazing professional performer, but she's not a musician. She's a photographer. This is Christina Roney, and and you are a self-employed photographer, are you?
Yes.
You own your own company?
Yes.
Okay, what's the name of your company?
I have Say It Uniquely and Cecilia C. Photography.
So there's two of them?
Yes.
Okay, great. We're going to talk about your companies tonight, and we're going to profile you specifically to find out how you got to be where you're at now.
Okay.
Quick question. You're not related to rice ceremony, are you?
No, but I love eating it.
I love eating it too. It's good stuff. Couldn't resist that one.
Heard it.
Okay. All right, well, let's go back like I do with all my guests. I like to find out what they were like as, young kids and how they got to where they're at. And you told me how old you are. That's amazing. I wouldn't have believed that you were even that old. But tell me where you grew up and how you got into photography, how long you've been doing it. And if I have any questions pertaining to that, I will throw them down. So go ahead.
Okay. I grew up in Gilbertville, which is central Massachusetts.
What'd you say the town was?
Gilbertville.
That must be like, it's near Hubbardston and Belchertown?
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
It's
all those towns with 3-syllable names that nobody's ever heard of unless you drive through them.
Yep.
I know. Great area.
Very great area.
Yep.
I grew up in the time where parents kind of kicked you outside and left you outside all day till night, and I was the type of kid that my mom had to fight me to come inside at night. I love being outside, love being outdoors, and I don't know, that's where my love of nature probably came from.
Okay.
Being forced to be out there.
So you began, so your parents probably got you, they wished too hard and they got what they wished for.
Exactly.
And then it was hard to get you back in.
Yep.
Well, did you have like a curfew? You were supposed to be in at a certain time?
I had to be around the house at a certain time.
Okay.
Nighttime, but that's it.
But they didn't say you're in at 9 o'clock, nothing like that? But it got to the point where you're coming in later and later and they didn't, and then they started to become kind of like confrontational about it. Is that it?
That was until like teenage years.
Okay, well that's the case with every teenager,
Yeah.
I assume, or most of them. All right, well how did that end up getting you into photography?
Well, I actually didn't get into photography until I had my kids.
Okay,
And so
you brought one of them with you today.
I did.
Is she the oldest?
She is not. She is the youngest.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
twin.
Oh, how many kids do you have, and
I-
how did that get you into photography? I assume it had something to do with, like you saw your kids, you said, oh, they should be in pictures, and why can't I take them?
Almost.
Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Okay.
So I homeschooled my kids.
Oh, really?
And-
Okay.
And I went to teach them actually.
Well, just why did you homeschool them? Did you feel that your school system was inept?
Yeah, I volunteered in the school for a year and was hands-on watching things I didn't agree with.
Okay.
And I decided at that time that I could do it better, or at least teach the values that I wanted them to know, and the education, the curriculums I don't agree with.
Okay.
So I just made up my own decision to do it, and it's been great.
Okay, good.
So.
No, when you just, I mean, you know, you don't usually hear about too many people homeschooling their kids unless the kids are like in showbiz or, you know, or have have a career that's so vast that they don't really have time to be
Right.
schooled in a public setting. So what I want to know is about that pertaining to homeschooling do you have to prove to the authorities that you're doing it right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
You
and how
have
do
to
you-
report every year. You have
Because
to
obviously
show
they have to
proof.
legally be in school until they're 16 unless you homeschool them, and you have to prove that they're getting a sufficient education otherwise.
I have a
do
curriculum
that.
that has to be passed every year.
Okay.
And so I send in what I'm going to do, and then they approve it.
Okay.
And then I send like progress reports and stuff.
So basically, the report card is what you make up at home. It's a private thing.
Right.
So if your kid's slacking off, you can say, hey, I know you've been I know you can't diss math because I teach it. And if you
Right.
diss it, you're gonna have to leave home. And if you can't do that because you're a minor.
Right.
I get it. Okay.
And
But-
the difference is it's just one-on-one, so
Right.
they get
Yeah, exactly.
what
total
they need.
total attention.
Right.
Nothing off to the side that distracts them or you.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay. Now, I guess, and I don't know if, in order to do that, do you have to pay extra money for certain learning tools that you need to
Yeah,
buy?
anything that I choose to use.
Like
I pay.
textbooks?
Yeah.
You buy textbooks for
Yes.
them? Okay.
Yep. We have an online account too. I pay monthly for that.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but we're not held to the constraints of the usual school day. So
True.
we do everything. We go any place we want to go. So if you're learning about a certain place,
Field
you go
trips?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
And you got a lot of hands-on experience. We'll go out in the yard and, do everything. Science experiments we've done just crazy things.
Okay. So how did this lead you to photography?
So it was actually for art. I noticed all of them were drawing a tree the same exact way. And it
Okay.
got me just very upset, because not upset, but I brought them for a hike and I said, look at the trees. They're all different. They're not perfect. They're not beautiful. Some are beautiful, but some aren't.
Right.
And when we did that, we saw different shapes in the trees, in the
Okay.
bark. And so as a fun thing, we started to look for letters, and we'd stay in the
Look for
woods.
which?
Letters.
Letters, like of the
alphabets.
alphabet?
Yep. So
We'll
we'd start
look
at
for letters where? In
just
the trees?
anywhere, in the trees, in the leaves, in the sky, in the
Oh,
clouds.
so basically you were looking for letter formations.
Right.
Okay.
And so we started to do that, and I love doing it. And so I started capturing the letters that we found, and then
Capturing how so?
photography.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yep, and-
Well, did you have I take it you had a small camera at
Yep.
the time?
I just had a little Sure shot.
Okay.
And so I started taking those pictures, and some of them were remarkable, and they were just really interesting. And I started putting words together with the letters that we found for remembrance or whatever.
Right.
And it just caught along, and that's how my business started.
Oh, that's amazing. And how long ago was this?
2007.
So 12 years ago.
Yep, was for that.
Okay. Wow. You still kind? I mean, you grew up in the sticks. Do you still kind of live in the sticks?
Yes.
Okay.
I prefer the sticks.
No, I agree. I like the sticks too.
Yeah.
Well, here in Easton, it's kind of like the sticks.
Yeah, this is actually very nice out
And just
here.
so you know, just FYI, Kim is very good at putting beautiful Eastern pastoral scenes behind us on the green screen.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know what she's going to pick, but you will like it. I just about guarantee that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that having been said, so basically this is what got you to start your own business.
Right.
And all right, now this was 12 years ago, and since do you have like studios? Do you?
Right now, I have my products in other stores.
Stores.
My dream is to have my own storefront,
Okay.
where I would sell my photography, but I would also offer Be Your Own Artist, where people can come in and make their own words with the letters that we have.
Okay.
Or do letter hunts, where I take people out into nature and help them find the letters that they want.
I'm still a little bit not confused, but I'm a little bit foggy about what you mean by letters. I mean, you're talking about formations in nature that look
Yep.
like letters.
Yep.
And this is basically the crux of your experience as a photographer, and you feel that this is this is probably like a rule of thumb for everybody, any aspiring photographer, look for the letters.
Well, some people see numbers everywhere. I see letters everywhere.
Okay.
And when I
You ever see both? You ever see numbers too? Maybe
Yeah.
symbols?
Yeah. I
Okay.
see faces.
Faces?
Yep.
How about like like the pound sign that you see on your phone?
Have yet to seen that, but I'm
Okay.
sure in
It's
the
out there
sticks
somewhere.
or something it's in there.
Okay.
So, but lots of hearts,
Okay.
stuff like that.
All right.
It's just interesting things to take pictures of, and
So you have an eye for stuff.
Yeah.
And it's mostly, now is it mostly outdoors? So tell me about now, you emailed some of the photographs we're going to be looking at.
Yep.
And that's going to be great. I can't wait to see them. I've already seen some of your work. And I can't wait for the people watching the show to see it too. But this has obviously become a very successful business for you. So how do you spread the word about what you do?
well, right now I wrote a children's book. It's an ABC adventure children's book.
Wow.
And I'm looking to self-publish that. So I've
done that
been
before.
working on that.
Okay.
And really, besides my stuff in that store and doing like fairs and stuff, I'm really working on the book to
Okay.
promote that, which then would promote the business as well.
Okay. All right. So let me see. Let me try if I can get this straight. So you're trying to shop your book around.
Right.
Does the book have photographs in it?
It uses the letter collages
Okay.
because it's an inspirational journey of a caterpillar.
Okay.
And I'm using like love, and I'll have the love collage that I did with the story on the bottom underneath.
Well, I got to
So
tell
that's
you, I
for the
mean,
letter L.
I'm no expert on nature, but I can't think of anything more inspirational than being a caterpillar and then turning into a butterfly.
Exactly.
All right, I get it. And I can just imagine how nice it would be. I've always fantasized that I could grow wings too.
Oh, of course.
Right, so who hasn't? So
Right.
obviously, if you're a creature if you're one of God's creatures that can actually do that, it's a pretty big deal.
It's amazing.
And I can understand why why you're so into it. Okay, but in terms of but basically at this point you do photography out of your own home. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, but you have a pretty good sized clientele.
Yeah.
Okay, what I want to know is how you got them though. How you got them on
By
board?
doing fairs, I used to do fairs every weekend. I
Okay.
did the grunt work.
When you
that
say
I
fairs, you
needed.
mean your own fairs or doing other people's fairs?
Other people's fairs.
Okay.
Yep. And then I just continued to do that. And then I got into my other photography, which is more portrait
I
or
understand.
landscape.
So you got nature and you got people.
Right.
So somehow even though they're all sort of one and the same, in the world we live in, it makes sense to separate them.
Right.
Because unless you're taking pictures of, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people, like especially parents or children, that might want to have their pictures of their children taken, the beautiful scenic backdrop,
Right.
outdoor scenic backdrop. Correct?
Yes.
That's pretty common for you.
Yes, very common.
Do you do headshots too?
I do. I don't prefer them. I prefer artistic photography.
Okay.
Where, for example, I was doing a family who wanted something different for their family portraits.
Okay.
So they wanted to dress up and go into the woods and do just, Beauty and the Beast type
Oh, I
photographs,
understand. They
that
wanted,
type of
yeah,
thing.
they wanted something bucolic.
Right.
Okay, and you oblige them.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
And I prefer that.
No, I understand. Ever done anything? I'm just wondering. Ever done anything like underwater?
No, but I would love to.
Yeah, I bet it would be great. I mean, when you look at all the beautiful, footage of underwater nature. I mean, especially like in the oceans where the tropical fish and the sea anemone kind of like coexist in unison. That would be the kind of stuff that you might want to take on. Maybe grab some scuba gear and take some underwater stuff. What is the most unusual place you've taken pictures, would you say? I'm just thinking there must be something that's...
Well,
I mean, obviously that family in the woods has got to be among the top, but is there anything more unusual than that?
I do cemeteries and I do abandoned buildings.
Okay.
And some people would find that unique. I love it and I look for them, so I go all the time to those type of places.
Cool. That leads me to ask you, have you ever done stock photography?
Nope.
Would you ever consider it?
Yes, I would consider anything.
You should definitely try it, because you can make a lot of money doing that. Plus, you could get your name out in a lot of publications.
Yeah.
You know what that is, like for textbooks.
Yes, yes.
I tried it once myself back in 1993, and it didn't really take. But the concept was amazing, and and the people that I tried to photograph were very interested. Seemed okay with it. I mean, for instance, one day I was, somebody was looking for like I got back on, online wasn't as big in 1993 as it is now. I mean, you could buy books on stock photography and you could find out what people are looking for. Now, if you wanted to, you could just Google it.
Yep.
Who needs what in stock photography? So one day I went out and I heard that that said 8 interracial couples are big. So I was walking down my street and I saw a guy that looked like he was Hispanic and a girl she was white, and they were walking hand in hand. And I asked them, "Can I take your picture?" And they said, "Sure, no problem." And I explained why. They didn't have a problem with it. And it sounds to me like put it this way, I don't know what it sounds to me. Speaking from personal experience, if you go up to people and explain to them what the story is, more often than not, they're going to be okay with it.
Right.
If they're not okay with it, then fine, then you move on. But
Right.
I mean, I take it you're somebody that doesn't have a problem going up, approaching people.
No.
Right. Okay. I'm one of those people too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always that way. I mean, because I used to be. I never was afraid to make a fool of myself. But I know now that even if I make a fool of myself, I impress enough people so that it's not going to matter.
Yep.
Doing what I do.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So how much? What would you say your current clientele approximately number is? Approximate regular clients are.
It's not really regular clients.
All right.
It's
all right,
always new clients.
How many calls a week do you get to work?
Well, I probably only get about 3. It's not that much, but
Okay,
it keeps me very busy.
Yeah, right. It keeps you busy. Plus, it makes money.
Yep, and I'm also homeschooling my kids currently.
Homeschool,
so
right.
my focus has been on them,
Okay.
and then bringing them into the business aspect, so I can.
So you
teach
want them to? Now they're okay with that being part of your business.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Obviously, you mentioned Madison here likes to. There's no problem being your lackey when you're out on the
Right.
road, which is
Yep.
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. How about animal pics? Do you do any of those?
I love animals. Absolutely
Yeah.
adore dogs. I have dogs.
Cats, birds,
Yep, anything.
lizards.
Yep.
Okay.
I have lizards and snakes. I'm not scared of any spiders or anything, so
Okay.
I take pictures of anything.
Have you ever like that? Would you ever consider like creating your own magazine photo? Have you done that maybe? Creating your
I
own
actually
magazine?
haven't, no.
You should probably. I mean, I like to give advice to my guests that might help them
Mm-hmm.
out down the line, and that for you. When it comes to, let me ask you this: when it comes to developing your pictures, I assume that you have the basics down. You do it in the darkroom.
No, I actually process out.
Oh, you do.
Yes.
Okay. Now the kind of cameras that you use, do you use any of the old-fashioned box cameras?
No, I had one, but we had unfortunately a house fire, and I lost
no.
it in there. So I went from there to a Nikon. And
Okay, Nikons
so-
are good.
Yep. And then actually my cell phone is really good. It sounds crazy, but for just spontaneous pictures.
Well, I know
I've
everybody's
captured-
is though.
Yeah, I've captured some great moments on my camera.
And even though it's it's like you and millions of other people are using cell phones to take pictures all the time.
Yep.
Your talents have still propelled you to a sense of satisfaction and profit that you feel that you're doing well with it.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, but that might now. The reason I'm asking if you've done your own developing is because my thinking is if you could create a picture book with photographs, and you put it together. Or if you knew somebody, I mean, if you just go out to stores like CVS and have your pictures developed there, you're not going to be able to put together a book for you. But if you found somebody that knew how to edit and could take pictures and put them, laminate them and put them in like into a book form, maybe you could go in, maybe you could take have them buy stock in your company and make more money. It's
Yeah.
up to you.
I've actually digitally done books.
You have?
Yes.
Okay.
So I can do that. I love learning. So
Right.
if I don't know how to do something, I will look it up and I'll figure out how to do it. And
Okay.
I'm very resourceful. So
Yeah, I can tell.
And I'm driven. So basically, if I want to do it, I will find a way to do it and get it done.
How about sports shots? You ever take sports action shots?
I actually my first one I will be doing for football. I
yeah?
just
Patriots?
no, I wish.
Oh, for high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish
Yeah, but
Bruins.
that's a start though.
Anyone from the Bruins want any photo shots? I do
What-
Bruins, Boston Bruins.
Yeah, I
ice
know the
hockey.
Boston
Yeah.
Bruins. What do you know any of them?
No, but
Okay.
I'd love to go and take shots.
Why don't you? Well, I heard that there was a guy that used to. In fact, I met him back in 1996. They used to have a guy there that would literally. There was a little hole in the glass, with the on the ice.
Yep.
That he would stick his whatever Pentax lens
Yep.
and to take pictures. And he did it for 39 years.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Maybe that glass hole is a place where you could stick your Pentax lens and
Yeah.
start taking.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with going to a Bruins game and taking some action shots and seeing how and putting them online.
Yeah.
And I mean, my hunch is that they do very well. You get a lot of
Yeah.
hits for them.
Definitely. We have some strong fans out there.
Good, especially given the fact that hockey is of all the four major sports, that's pretty much the fastest game. Plus the fact keeping up with that rubber disc is no easy feat either.
No, not at all.
So what about special equipment for your cameras? All right. I mean, I'm not talking about your cell phone. Or unless you found a way to put a zoom lens on a cell phone.
No.
Well, do you have a special camera? Do you have a Nikon? You said you use a
I
Nikon.
have a Nikon, yep.
Okay.
And I pretty much don't use the zoom as much as for the type of photography that I do. I'm more, I'm close to it. It's,
You don't like to zoom in. You like to just
right,
be there.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's just a preference of mine.
Right.
And so I did have a camera, I believe it was a Canon,
Yeah, they were good.
with a zoom, and I
Okay.
loved it. But yeah, I
But
like being right there.
matriculated to something better.
Yeah.
Since then.
Yeah, just
Okay.
my own preference and what I like doing, because it's a business, but it's my passion.
Of course.
So I don't like to overrule that passion with the business approach. So I
Right.
just go with whatever feels right.
Aside from your kids, do you have any business partners, people that help you?
Nope.
So it's just you and them.
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay, and it definitely cuts out a lot of the people that you might have to pay a lot of money
Yeah.
to. Okay. So now, how do you get orders for work?
Pretty much Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, with the Cecilia C photography, I'm starting clotheslines.
Clotheslines?
Yep, so I have some
Oh,
sweatshirts.
okay. You're doing fashion design too?
Yes, and I'm trying to start with T-shirts. I do have designs for sweatshirts and bathing suits and
What are you
yoga
talking about?
pants.
Putting photographs on them?
Yes, the
Oh,
photographs that I've taken. And
Yeah. Wow, that would be
site
great.
specific, I had some really great shots from New York, the bridges.
Of what?
The bridges as we're driving
wow,
through.
no kidding.
And
Okay.
I put some of those on some T-shirts and the cross beams on the bridges.
Okay.
That's one of them. They're really interesting and they're from New York, so I would assume that people from New York would like it, but
Yeah,
it's
but
something.
you're in Boston. Why not get pictures of stuff that people in Boston like?
And I travel
common-
everywhere and do that, yeah,
The common, the Citgo sign, the
Yep.
Bruins, obviously.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here.
Yep.
I mean, I know you were in New York at some point and you
Yep.
took those pictures, but now this is your home right here.
Yep.
And it sounds to me like where you live, and there's plenty of, there's plenty of good nature. You've already done
Definitely.
that, been there, done that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about, it sounds to me like aside from photography, you do anything else that's, for entertainment, artwork, draw, do you sing, dance, done any acting at all?
I do poetry.
Poetry, okay.
And then I paint. I
Okay.
like watercolor painting, and then I add the poetry to the paintings.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I've
So
been doing for
basically,
years.
so you put the pictures together, you put the poetry to the painting. You
Right.
create a poem and you paint something to define the poem.
Yeah, or opposite, or I
either
paint
way,
something and then,
define the painting.
right.
I get it. They have a show in one night a week. You might be able to do one here in Easton where they're looking for poets and
Oh,
artists too. So we'll keep that in mind.
yeah, definitely.
So, but have you ever done you do anything in music, singing, dancing, or?
No, the only thing in music, my uncle was a composer.
Okay.
And
Classical,
I was
jazz?
piano classical.
Okay.
And I was a little kid watching him, and basically, I can't read music, but I transferred it into numbers,
Okay.
and then I could play the songs through
Wow.
the numbers.
So you do have some musical experience.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Do you have a piano at your house?
I used to have a piano.
But you get rid of it?
Well, we had that fire, and so.
Oh, the
yeah.
fire. Geez. You would think the insurance company would cover all that stuff.
Yeah, that's just a messy story. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's too bad because I'm sure it's a wooden piano would is not easy to salvage in a fire.
Yeah, and it's not the same as a keyboard.
Right.
An actual piano, the feeling of the keys and everything, is the sound. It's very different. So.
And speaking of getting back to photography, have you ever photographed any bands on stage?
Nope. I do have a few friends that are in bands, and I may be looking into doing that and starting that.
Yeah, how about model photography? Human model.
Nope.
That might be something
Just
you
my
want.
daughter.
Oh, cute kids, but I mean, in terms of like making money, that
Right.
would be huge for you.
Right.
I mean, you want to expand as much as you can.
Yes.
And still be able to do what you have to do for the kids and.
Right.
And but I don't want to say bacon because I'm a vegan, but throw the food on the pan and.
Right.
And still, be home by 9 to 5, do whatever you have to do in the evening. So, I mean, that's an incredible thing going on right now. I interview a lot of models on my show.
Yep.
And if you've ever noticed that might be the kind of thing you could look into, going in where the fashion shows are being done and take some pictures and then submitting them to the people, to the models, and maybe you get more work doing that too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm at the beginning of my growth for this.
Right.
I've hit a point where, I know this is what I want to do, and so that's where I'm going with it.
So basically, you basically have your positions charted for everything.
Yep.
Well, guess what, Christina? We're down to the final 5 minutes.
Wow.
I know
That's quick.
we always have fun on topic time. We
Yes.
make the half hour go by fast. So what I want you to do in the remaining time is give shouts out to people that are going to see the show, because a lot of them are. You can start with Madison, your daughter, and then you can look at the red light, the other people in your life. And
Definitely shout out to Maddie, my most wonderful
look
daughter.
at her, she's blushing there, but it's okay.
And Devin, Kyron, Brendan.
Your other kids?
Yep.
Okay.
Sean, Dolly, my mom, Vanessa, my sister, Tony, my stepdad,
Okay.
Jill is one of my dear friends.
Okay.
Maddie, did I forget anybody?
Oh, no, that's fine.
That's pretty good.
It is very good. So now the holidays are coming. Obviously, do you do a lot of stuff during the holidays? There's plenty of great decorations around. I'm sure in your town they must decorate the center of town with a lot of stuff.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't mind. I know you like being outdoors. What about in the snow?
I love the snow.
You love the snow.
I prefer the snow.
You prefer the snow. Okay. So if we have a crappy winter, by most people's standards, it's going to be your heaven on earth.
Right.
And you're going to be doing plenty of photographing of it.
Yes.
Does the camera get damaged with the snow?
Yes.
It does. So you have to kind of be careful with that.
I've destroyed cameras.
You have.
Yeah.
Not deliberately, but it
Right.
just comes with the turf.
Yeah, icy.
Yeah.
Drop 'em.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd almost be scared to ask how many cameras you've destroyed.
Yeah, let's not go there.
All right, let's not go there. Okay. So, all right. So now, upcoming in the next few months, though, the holidays are coming up. What are your plans for the holidays? Are you going to be doing other things that you mentioned?
I'm actually going down to South Carolina.
Okay,
visit
work
my
or just
mother.
for vacation?
To visit my mother down there.
Oh, she's down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we plan to take a bunch of photography down, pictures
Right.
down there of the area.
Have you ever traveled across the country? I mean, I know you've been in New York, but have you ever traveled around the country in other parts of the USA to take pictures?
We actually worked for a moving company. She went with me
Okay.
in a semi-truck cross country, and we took pictures all the way over to Minnesota.
Oh, why didn't you go as far as California?
If they were going that far,
They just
we
didn't
would
go
have
that
gone.
far.
Yeah, they didn't go that far.
Okay, so you definitely have experience taking pictures of the landmarks of the U.S. And the next time you go out there, maybe you'll go a little further, and you'll get pictures of, maybe the Grand Canyon.
Yes, would
just
love
don't
to
just
do
don't stand, just don't stand too close to it, because you know what happens to some of the people that do.
Yeah,
Doing
we
silly selfies, they end up.
Yeah.
You know what that means,
Yeah,
right?
definitely don't want to do that.
Right. Of course you don't. Well, I hope you had a good time with me tonight.
Yes, I did.
Hope
Thank you
had a
very much for having me.
And I'm very happy to have you. Also, just so you know, if you have any people in your life that you want to that you've worked with or that you take pictures of that do anything that's interesting, I'd love to have them on as guests. I always try to get guests to word of mouth. So just send them my way. Once the show is up, we'll be submitting it and sharing it all over the place, and it should get a lot of views.
Okay.
Judging by the reaction you got from plugging your appearance, I'd say we're gonna be sitting pretty with a lot of views once the show is up. Could be as soon as tomorrow. We'll find out when it ends.
Okay.
Okay. So on that note, are you ready to wrap it up?
Yes.
Okay, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Take care. Thank you.